Next game, we got Warriors Roosters on the Friday night at 6 p.m. at Go Media. Probably not Supercoach relevant at the moment. Could be later on. Is that we've got Tane Tuapiki as the 18th man and Chancellor Clockstead starting at fullback. I thought Clockstead could have potentially gone to the centres or 5'8", but Ali Leotau, I was pretty high on him. He was in one of my team builds at one stage. He got a double in the trials. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets a decent price rise, but with so many cheapies at that centre wing position, unfortunately, he's not going to make my cut. And another guy, Tuivasa-Sheck, I thought could have played centre as well. I picked him up in draft in that flex position. Tuivasa-Sheck, very much the same realm as Carraz about the offload. What are your thoughts on some of those Warriors outside backs?
Yeah, I don't have any significant interest at the moment. You really want RTS playing in the centres so he can rack up all the base. Alaliatau is an interesting one. I think you can jump on him if you like him. He's not for me because I like to play Supercoach with players who have strong base and power, and he's going to score you big, in certain weeks when he goes through for a brace, or even a hat trick or tries, and then he'll score 100 and he'll make money, like you said. I have no doubt he will at some point do that for you. It's just the question is, can you wait and hold on for long enough for that to occur, really?
100%.
Yeah.
I think next the biggest one, obviously, is their forward pack with Jacob Laban. Out of nowhere, really. Like, we always thought Leka Halasima was going to accompany Kurt Capewell at the second row position, but Jacob Laban has done well and he's managed to secure that position, just under 300,000, starting second rower, probably doesn't play the 80 minutes, but anywhere between, what probably say 60 to 65 minutes. Is Laban in your team currently, Chris?
Yeah, 100%. He's in my team, mostly because Adam's high on him. I don't really know much about Jacob Laban, but my understanding he's monster PPM, 1.3. So if he plays 40 minutes or so, he's going to score 50, 60. I think he's 10K less than Joe Chan, and I would much rather have somebody who sounds fun than have Joe Chan and just hurt me and just make me sad if he underperforms, really.
Yeah, fair.
What about you?
Yeah, Laban's in my team. Again, doing all these 2025/2026 preview reviews on the channel. Go check that out in all your listening platforms, guys. But when I did the Warriors preview review, Jacob Laban, I think, had the tied longest contract extension. And that was probably a clear indicator that obviously the Warriors were super high on him. So that wasn't the giveaway for him potentially starting this year. I don't know what was. Obviously, you got Leka Halasima, who is a bit more proven in that realm and elk. But it's interesting how they're going to use it. I definitely don't think maybe Capewell long-term this season maybe doesn't start there. Maybe he gets switched around with Leka if Leka has a ripper start to the year. But good to see Laban, again, another cheapie, popping up really out of nowhere for super coaches. Well, I guess in regards to the Roosters, they're 1-7, besides obviously Daly Cherry Evans coming into the team, which isn't too super coach relevant. Would you have any love for Daly or not really?
It's hard to know. In the final trial game, he really played second fiddle to Sammy Walker, and he scored 16, and he really looked like the second coming of Luke Brooks, his old half partner. And if he's going to be the second coming of Luke Brooks, I don't want him anywhere near my first, second, third, fourth, or fifth Supercoach teams, really. But I think he's a watch in progress at the moment, and if he goes big, you can jump on him. They have the buy in round 5, so they're not gonna get away in price too badly. The person who I'm much more interested in is also his current half partner, Sam Walker. Like, he looked awesome in the trials, and
So good.
I think a lot of he's skyrocketed in terms of ownership. Like, are you interested in Sam Walker? And do you think people should take a punt on Sam Walker, Ryan?
I'm happy I went double cheapy halfback, giving that away obviously for my final team reveal. But I am nervous. It's also given me that chance as well. Like, I haven't locked in that primo. Like, at least I'm going to make cash, and then I can definitely go to either Cleary, Hines, Jaden Campbell's got that hamstring injury, which we'll get to soon. And now Sam Walker's sort of popped up into that same sort of tier. And then Dewey's probably a tier below them at 550K, which again, we can talk about soon. I do have love for him, but it definitely gives me a bit more of a sample size now, potentially to round 6 even, post-buy, to see if Sam Walker's really the real deal. Again, Daly Cherry Evans, as you mentioned, passenger princess now. And James Tedesco definitely loves the ball. And there's, again, a lot of cooks in the kitchen. You still got Reece Robson to come back, is another piece of the puzzle to fit in. You still got guys like Connor Watson in your team. So it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of mouths to feed. I think, again, as you just mentioned before, a bit more of a sample size would go a long way. Tedesco, I think he's going to lose money, which is great for super coaches out there. I think Ponga can make up the difference between the two. But hey, if Ponga keeps popping off like he's been doing, and with Fletcher Sharp coming back probably by round 4, I'd probably almost rather Ponga. Like, he's got the goal kicking.
Yeah. To go back to Sam Walker, I had a long think about him, and he averaged 70 last year. But the thing is this, he came back in the second half of the year, when tries are more likely to occur. True. People, teams go on holidays and you rack up big scores, and his opening draw is hard. It's like New Zealand away in New Zealand, Souths, Penrith, Manly. They could be a big one, but then they've got the bye, and that just stunts any kind of money making you have. And then it's the Sharks, and it's not until really about round 7 or 8 when they get Newcastle, St. George. So, I think you're right. I think you have to hold away. Yeah. Teddy's hard to know. Like Teddy, the reason why Teddy, I think a lot about Teddy often because last year or for the last 3 years, he's consistently been the best super coach player. And like we always go, oh, this year he's going to get old. But every he does. And if you think about last year's winner, Finn, who won, he got Teddy in round 3. Third place winner, Adam, he also got Teddy in round 3 when all of us were going, oh, Teddy scored 40 against the Broncos when they got absolutely shellacked. And it's because of them that they got, they rose up to the top. So I think it's hard you want to not get Teddy, but sometimes I think you have to think about maybe getting it because he is the best until otherwise,
And he's so healthy. Like, he had a shocking start to his career with 2 ACL injuries, but really since then he's been extremely durable, touch wood. But yeah, I think he's inevitably going to lose cash because I think he's going to take a little bit of not take a step back in regards to playing ability, but I think he's going to try to accommodate Cherry Evans and the injury to Reece Robson. So and I think it's definitely a wait and see. Post-buy definitely could go in, but the case, a lot of bickies, and there's a lot of primos out there who I probably rank slightly higher because, again, you can only have so many. There's one other guy I want to quickly talk about in this Roosters lineup is Banana Leniu. I'm pretty sure I pronounce it. Cheapy, job security is not very good. So I have been seeing him slowly climbing up the percentage owned. If I'm a super coach, I would 100% be avoiding him with all costs. You got Connor Watson's in the wing, who definitely play a bit of hooker. Looks like he's definitely more middle rotation for 2026. However, if you're going to go cheap, I would just go Brandon Smith, and I'd just hold Brandon Smith because he should be back probably by round 4 to round 5. Yeah, Benaya Lolu, I'm pretty sure you pronounce it. Yeah, no good. Is there any other one you want to talk about, Chris, before we move down?
Yeah, Andy, one of our co-hosts, he noticed that Blake Steep just quietly sitting at lock at 13. Are you interested? I personally, I'm not at all.
No.
I don't want any part of. Look, he could be 2026 NAF White, but I don't want anywhere near Trent Robinson's, forward pack rotation.
No, not a chance. Yeah. And again, Nafahu White could play lock. You still got Victor Radley to come back. You could input Nat Butcher there. Spencer could start. Yeah, there's too many variables. Even Connor Watson could be starting there. So, and definitely one other guy missed that somehow, but Angus Crichton, he was originally in my first team reveal. And in more recent times, I've been sort of talking myself in and out at 610K. I prefer the middles due to the fact they're getting that 3rd minute tackle, but he is an 80-minute player. He does have Daly Cherry Evans running off his hip. They're a fantastic football team on paper. At 610K, another down year because he obviously played for New South Wales and he looked very good for Australia in the Ashes series. But I feel like there's more to Gus, and going to Union next year, he's going to want to go out with a bang. Is there any luck for Gus Crichton at 610K?
Yeah, Gus is very, very cheap at at his price. He's in my team. I watched him and the way he Sam Walker and him connected, just isolating him really, really well against the center or the halfback, opposing half that he was playing, and obviously he scored a try, and I was like, yep, I've seen enough. He's the only he's the only Rooster in my Supercoach team, and I know I have to get somebody from the Roosters. They just got so much firepower. They're going to score big at some point. And so, yeah, if they just keep passing to Sam Walker, then Crichton's he's going to benefit, I think, for sure.
Did you also see, Chris, there was a quote, I think it might have been from Daily Cherry Evans, but he pretty much just said, Trent Robinson's given us freedom to go both sides of the field. So they could all be going to the left, they all go over to the right, or they could be swapping and changing throughout. So I think that's also interesting to note as a watch and see, particularly for the spine, not necessarily for Angus Crichton. I don't think he gets affected too much because, again, DCE, Walker and Teddy are very good ball players. So if anything, Crichton probably does better. So maybe I've just talked myself into getting Stephen Crichton. Not Stephen Crichton, Angus Crichton. I love my Stephen Crichton.